morning. How are you?
I am doing well.
Great. I'm Peggy.
I'm Amanda.
And you're watching the Junction Fiber Mill Millcast.
Millcast, how are you doing this morning?
We are still heavily into lambing. We have
Tis the season right now.
Yeah. We've had 2 yesterday. I'll talk about it in a moment. But I'm good, but lambing. It's why I've got my phone here and I have all the noise-making things because Todd's up at the barn and should something happen, I'll have to walk out of this millcast and say goodbye and head up to the barn.
That's great. That's fun, though.
Yeah. I'll talk about that in a moment. What you wearing?
I am wearing a Jennifer Steingass sweater. This is one of our favorite samples. It is called the
Silver Lining.
And it is knit with a light gray yarn that we don't have in stock anymore.
Right, but with zinnia.
With zinnia, yes.
Which I love the zinnia.
And I think this is one we often pull out when people are sort of just discovering our yarn to say, like, they look at the skein and, they're like, I don't really get how the colors, like, where is it? So this is our skein of zinnia, right? And they hold this up and they're like, yeah, I like this pinky color, I like this orange color, but like I don't really see how it's gonna like knit. And we tell them this is all knit with a single skein of zinnia, and so you get the the lovely
slow color change
transition as you knit, and people will look at it and think that you just did
you did something deliberate,
different colors. So it's really fun to get to show this one off, and also it's just super comfy. So I love this sweater.
Yeah, and I am wearing the sport weight of the same yarn actually, and
this is Blooming Colors by Carolyn Holbrook.
Right.
And this one is Midnight Plum.
Midnight Plum. Up there. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
And with the light yarns, the transition is a little more subtle because
it takes more to draft it.
Yeah, but it's still like such a lovely effect.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. And you're knitting. You're still chugging away.
Yep. I just like left it on my desk here between filmings. Okay. To be fair, we did just record an episode. Pre-recording yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I am heading on vacation.
Very exciting.
Yes, so I will tell you all about that when I get back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm plugging away at the Petite Knit Stockholm V-neck, which I'm sure everyone is sick of hearing about by now, but I am
That's all right.
Bringing the knitting into the knitting podcast.
Will you bring knitting with you on your trip?
Absolutely not.
Okay, all right, okay. Even for those long plane rides? Or you'll be dealing with babies? Kids.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, I have a lap infant that weighs 30 pounds and wriggles like a crocodile.
Okay, all right, I guess that's a no,
Yeah. That time will come later in my life. Yeah. And I hear from a lot of people in our business community of knitters that, planes are great for knitting, and I'll discover that someday.
Yeah.
But we're just happy to be getting away for actually 2 whole weeks together.
That's
and
great.
I'm not going to spoil where we went, but I'll let you know it involves biking.
That'd be great.
So I'm really pumped. I'm just fingers crossed nothing happens between now
and you'll be taking a true 3-year-old.
Yes, so Maeve, actually, at the time of recording, it's her birthday.
That's fantastic.
I know. So actually today, she's out of her daycare. She's going to spend the day with her grandpa and Nana, and they are, I don't know what they're even going to get up to, but we started the day with pancakes. She loves that. We had a little birthday shindig for her last weekend with 2 of her very best friends from school. And, she's just at a really fun age. She, like, really gets it with the birthdays now. She wants to put on her, like, special dress. She sings herself happy birthday.
Oh, I love it.
We got her, like, the world's most practical gifts. Cody and I got her a suitcase, a rolly suitcase for the trip.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's just, like, normal green. It has no colorful characters on it because, again, this is the type of person I am, folks.
Yeah, but I think that's okay.
Yeah, it is. And we did get her a really fun umbrella, but it's like adult size, and she can totally carry it, but I was like, this will last her whole life. It's a rainbow umbrella. It's one of those duck head ones. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
I had to get one for myself, too, because it had so much fun colors. And then we got her a little bell for the bike she just got.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Excellent.
So anyways, and my mom got her a watch. That was fun. And my, one set of grandparents got her a camera, and one set got her a bike. So it's she got a
camera?
Big birthday. Like a kid's camera.
Oh, yeah. Does it take pictures?
Yeah, it's a digital camera. It takes pictures.
Oh, that's very cool.
You gotta start them young on this stuff. Content creator.
Content creator, very funny. If you had framed it a little tighter, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
stop. They have like bubble effects on this camera
Oh,
and like
geez.
different frames, and you're
Yeah.
like, this isn't necessary.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, she's 3, Lewis is 1, and we're taking them on a big trip
Excellent.
coming up.
So it's been a different scene at our house.
Speaking of births,
Yeah, so we're going through lambing. We a very good mom, Lovey, had the sheep went into labor, and I got a text from Todd. I started heading home, and he texted me. When they're in labor, you've got some time. Usually, you have some time. So I was driving home, and then I got a text from Todd that we have 2 intact rams. One is named Maverick, and the other is named Goose. And if you are a Top Gun fan, you get the reference, Maverick and Goose. And Goose is a little on the small side. And Todd this morning had gone for out to give them hay like at around 6:30 in the morning, and everything was fine. And then he went and walked the dogs. I'm at work. And as he was coming back up the driveway, Goose somehow had managed to get... Hold on. I got to double check. I don't mean to run if I have to. Nope. Goose had somehow slipped by the feeder and gotten his legs up under the electric fence. And, Todd didn't do anything but race in to help Goose. And, of course, Goose is getting pulsed with the electric fence, and Todd's trying to pull him out. And Todd is getting pulsed through the animal's body. And he got him free. It was upsetting, obviously, for Goose, but Goose is now fine. But by the time I got home, Todd was a wreck. You kind of feel guilty. Is there something that we'd done incorrectly? And then, of course, you're trying to save this animal because the animal is your responsibility. And
Yep.
I just felt Todd was really struggling, and so struggling of is this ram okay? Meanwhile, in the barn, checking to see how's this mom, and it's a mom that's a great mom, and not first time to the rodeo, but every time can be a little different. Of course, now I was getting uptight. So I was like, let's go in, let's check, and Levy had a single, which meant that it was a pretty big frickin' lamb. And I'm one to not wait after an hour. And generally, if a ew's been in labor for an hour, you worry that something is stuck or whatever, presenting incorrectly. So I went in, and the lamb was presenting correctly, but it was just so big that Todd held on to Lovey's head end, and I just massaged her, and it's really about getting the head out. But very healthy boy, and mom's doing great.
What color?
Jet black.
Okay.
Jet black. Mom's doing great. Baby's doing great. Goose is doing great. But boy, okay. I'm sorry to leave you with that noise, but I want to be very available if we need to be.
Yeah.
So
you gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah. So lambing continues. We've got I think 8 more ewes to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have some photos of these lambs to show.
Yes. We'll definitely Loveys. I've got. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that's the news.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing, and I hope that that's all the drama you have this year.
Oh, you just have to. I think some of it is that you have to stay with, we are doing the best we can.
Yeah.
We're way more knowledgeable than 12 years ago, but you still get surprised with stuff that you go, oh man, hadn't seen that one before. So you just say, we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, that's all you can do, really,
Yeah,
always.
yeah,
So I think you're doing a great job, though.
They're great sheep. Okay, so we've got some brand new springtime for...
Yes.
It's great colors.
Yeah.
I love this.
Okay, so this is the first of our new colors. We've been needing a pink solid in our lineup for a while. So here you have it. This is Roots. We have it both in the light and the DK, and we're calling it Peony.
Hey, look at that.
Oh
my
gosh.
God.
Match made in frickin' heaven.
That's Zinnia with our peonies.
Yeah.
Peony.
Peony. So this is Peony, and again, it's available in sport weight and DK weight.
I love it.
And then do you want to show this one?
This I love one. It's teal, and so what are we calling it? Teal with it. I had to make sure because we're all trying to come up with a name. I
think I had originally printed the labels because your sister Eileen came up with the name at our team meeting. We're like, I'm like, oh, actually, that's a pretty good name. And I'm printing labels, and I put Teal Me about it.
Right. It's not teal me, but it's teal with it. As in deal with it, teal with it.
And I think these look kind of
They
great
look great.
together, too.
Yeah, and if you added a white to it, yum.
Yeah, so fun.
Actually, put those between. that works. The other one that would, well, there's a whole bunch of combos.
Yes.
But yeah, those are launching today.
And
Yeah.
they're sort of fleshing out, giving some spring to our solids line.
Absolutely.
So, hope you love them. And we tried something a little bit different just to give you sort of how the sausage is made. So usually when we are making yarn, we will do a whole dye lot and kind of know this one's going to go into the DK weight and this one's going to go into the sport weight, and we'll just spin the whole thing that way.
Right.
But this time we wanted to make these colors available in both weights at the same time. So the easiest way to do that and have consistency, if for whatever reason you wanted to knit these all, like, I don't know, sport weight and DK weight together, these are from the same dye lot.
Right.
And look, there's no color pooling. They're exactly the same. They're dyed in the wool. So what we did is we took the roving once it was pin drafted, again, it's already pink, split it into, halvesies basically, and spun it just at the different weights.
Right.
And so then we were able to offer both weights
Right,
at once.
and then we track them by lots. So these are both lot 1.
Yeah, or as the label says, 10001.
Yeah.
And that's a good reminder to let folks know that we do put dye lots on our
solids,
labels.
on our solids.
Yeah, on the solids. Making tracks, it actually makes no difference because
Right.
truthfully, every single skein is unique and will
Right.
never be recreated. But with the roots line, very much there can be variation from one to the other. So you want to make sure that you order enough for your project at the same time. Or if you need one more skein, you can try to check in and see if we have more of this dye lot.
And we do them in relatively small batches because we're dyeing in our sinks, and we can only do 20 pounds at a time. So sometimes I can go a little bit more, but it's small lots. It's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that is that.
Yeah.
And I also have something fun to
This
just
is
show
really
off.
sweet.
It arrived at the mill just the other day. I'm gonna model it, okay?
Absolutely.
This is
That is so cute.
The Junction Street Hat. It's a new pattern available on Ravelry. The designer's name, she goes by Nurture Knitwear, but her name is Megan Gonzalez. We met, I think we met at Rhinebeck last year. She picked up some yarn in order to design a pattern. She does a lot of hats and other cool things like this. But I was just so excited because I kind of I'd given her the yarn to design this and I sort of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then she emails and is like, here's the finished pattern, the Junction Street Hat. And what's cool, so this is very similar to the muscle burrow, where if I'm going to pull it out so you can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
Except if the muscle burrow was like striped and a little bit reversible. So you can see that actually you've got 4 ways you can wear this hat. Now, of course, I got.
Oh, now you got to put it
back
together.
inside out.
And it's with the same.
I'm going to show these guys.
It's the same BFL light, but this is tangerine twist. So you probably can't see it here, but it's not zinnia because it has a little bit of like a peppermint green in it. Very subtle, and it's really cute, and it's right at the headband. I love. How
Don't
you doing
take
there?
our muscle burrow hat.
Don't take it
inside
apart.
out. So it's tangerine twist and the BFL light, but you could make this out of any of our roots light and making tracks light combos. So anyways, you can wear it like this.
Yep.
And then this undercuff is a different color.
Yeah.
So you can, subtly
cute.
different. You can do that. And then of course you can just put it inside out.
the whole thing
and
inside out.
because the stripes are variegated, you're gonna have a slightly different hat
Right.
this time around.
And you can do the same thing. You can fold the cuff up and get the
I'm
kind
gonna
of orangey.
stop
Very
futzing with
cute.
it that way.
Very
Okay.
cute.
So Megan, the designer, has very kindly given us a discount code that we can share. So if you use the code AMERICANMILL, all one word, on Ravelry, you get 20% off of this
Wow,
pattern.
that's great.
Through the end of April, just for Junction Fiber Mill folks.
Very nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, very cute.
So thank you, Megan, for designing this
Thank you,
beautiful
Megan.
hat.
Yeah,
And
that is cute.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. My bangs were doing all sorts of weird things lately, so this is good.
All right, shall we head into the mill?
Yeah, let's see what we've got going on in the mill.
Check it out.
Okay, welcome to the mill today. I'm going to show you what we've got going on. So first step is Elise is over here doing some dye work. Hello.
Hello.
She's probably listening to something really fun on her audiobook or something.
Listening to indie music. Really excited.
All right, what color are you dyeing?
I'm dyeing January Nights.
Okay, January Nights. And so far it's at the very beginning stages. So we've just got, it looks like a couple colorways mixed up, putting wool into the pot, and
We're ready to rumble.
ready to rumble. Thank you. Okay, and then we've got, ooh, okay, this is some Savage Heart Farm wool that's being scoured. And if I had to venture a guess, I would say this is just at the very beginning, like first wash. Oh yeah, okay, so we've got a magnet system. This means, that's the code, first wash. So I'm just gonna be somewhat helpful and tamp it down a little bit. So I'm just adding a little bit of agitation. Not much, I don't want to felt it, but we use this literal giant potato masher to work in the soap and the very hot water and just sort of start to clean. I don't know, I guess the movement just helps it penetrate all those fibers. Okay, let's go into the mill before we run out of things to talk about, because I saw the pin drafter was almost finished. Okay, so this is our next batch of mill blend, and it's a blend of natural fibers, like undye fibers, with some of our warm colored making tracks. And this pile is just about to run out, so I know Emma's gonna scramble over to basically take from the rich and give to the poor so that they end around the same time, because all 6 of these strands are going up and into this machine. So it's 6 thick on the way in here, and then on the other end, it's sort of the same thickness as just one of those. And what that does, a couple things. It blends, so there's a lot more variation in the piles on the way in than on the way out, because it's sort of doing this blending to make a uniform roving. In order to spin uniform yarn, you need uniform roving. And it also is aligning those fibers. So obviously the fibers are going by really quickly, but if you could, you know, take a look at the strands, they're all sort of swimming in the same direction. And on the way in, they might have not been so much. And how that's happening is it's going through a series of basically combs, they're called faller bars, that align fibers as they get pulled through by this roller here. And then they're going into the hand coiler so that we have a nice tidy stack of roving. And it's really fun because actually we're not only pin drafting this today, but we're spinning it. So I can show you the next step of the process just over here. So I'm just gonna scoot around the back of the spinner so that you can see the stacks. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about going into the pin drafter right now. This has been pin drafted 2 times. And if you really look closely at the fiber, I don't know if this camera is quite gonna capture it, but you're gonna see this is a heathered yarn. So you're gonna see that the individual strands are all different colors. So in addition to whites and grays and maybe even a little black, we've got some oranges, reds, and yellows because we separated out the warm colors from the, basically I'll show you what it looks like. These are the bags of the excess fiber that we just sort of collect during the processing. And where do we collect it? It's gonna come right out of this door. There's a vacuum system on the spinner that as the machine is just getting started, or if one of the strands of yarn going onto the spindle were to break, it would suck the roving in so that it doesn't make like a giant mess. Yeah, so this is going to be our mill blend warm, you know, we'll figure out what the name is, but it's our warm colored mill blend. And it's just sort of a way to not waste all of this beautiful wool that we've taken the time to scour and process, but it didn't make it into the yarn on its first pass through the mill. So, okay, coming around the front, I'll show you what that looks like. So here you can see the roving. It's heading into all of these 5 rollers, which work to draft or sort of make that roving thinner and thinner until it gets to this point. This is where the magic happens. It's where the twist finally gets put on the strand. See? And this is where it's yarn already. It's a single ply, and we're gonna ply it with another single so that it makes a plied yarn. But it's yarn. It's got some strength to it. You could knit this. I just like to make plied yarn so it's a little more balanced. So that's what's on the spinner. This other spinner is it's not on right now, but what it's doing is plying. And we've got some really bright colors going through, as you can see. This is the Tang, Making Tracks Light Tang, and this is Making Tracks Light Brat. And looks like there was something funky that happened here, which is probably why it stopped, but those are just a sight to behold in the mill. Neon orange and neon green. And you can see, you can always get a little taste of what's going through the mill if you look down at your feet. Little scraps of fiber on the ground. And now, this can't be recycled, just as an FYI. I know we put something on social the other week about what we do about collecting these little bits and bobs to use for stuffing things like the emotional support chicken or any sort of stuffed animal you might want to knit. The reason we can't process this yarn, well, is that it's already yarn. So it has some strength to it. It doesn't, if we put it through our machinery again, I think it would just gunk up the rollers. We really need it to be in loose wool, unspun fashion in order to recycle it into mill blend. Okay, and then it's somewhat of a quiet day right now. So we don't have the picker going. We don't have the carter going. Those are waiting for their next jobs. We do have some fun stuff that we're labeling. We'll tell you more about this in the future, but there's some beautiful blue yarn waiting to get some labels put on it. And then lastly, looks like Emma is skein winding. You can see we've got that bright green Brat, and it looks like a little bit of Carnival maybe. So that's how we actually get the yarn off of the bobbins and into skeins. Okay, that's the mill tour for today. That's what's going on at Junction Fiber Mill. Thank you, as always, for being along for the ride. We love to share this stuff with you guys. I mean, we hear from you that it's kind of like being in Mr. Rogers' factory, and yeah, totally is.
Always something. Always something.
There is.
All right, so starting to get real.
Yeah, I'm leaving for vacation. We've got a couple festivals. We've got kind of like a crazy week. I think neither of us are really trying to like internalize it too much and just go with the flow.
Denial.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's not imminent, but it's coming up on the horizon. Maryland Sheep and Wool, we've been talking about it a fair amount, but starting to get ready, trying to make sure we have enough inventory.
So that's the first weekend in May.
Yeah.
And then, so you are going to go down there with someone from the team.
Yep.
Then you guys are going to turn right around, come back, and you're going to fly out to Illinois.
Head to Chicago for the, it's a what they refer to as a B2B, business to business. It's a wholesale for local yarn shops, or a lot of them will be there. All the big yarn brands will be there.
It's more of a trade show.
It's a trade show, and local yarn shops, especially ones that are based in the Midwest where it isn't too tough to get to Chicago. So I'm really looking forward to meeting some of the folks that are carrying our yarns, and maybe meeting some yarn shops that haven't carried us.
And then we've got New Hampshire Sheep and Wool Mother's Day weekend. And I think we're going to go ahead and sign off now, because I can see our garbage man is just about to interrupt us in 2 seconds.
But mark your calendar, May 24th is our next open house.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Bye.